know, I don't have a lot of talent, and I tell you, I've sure heard some tonight. And a little niece who sang the national anthem, the Jones voice, what talent, wow. And what a line of patriots that stood up here before me and paid tribute. I'm very humbled. How grateful I am to have such friends. You know, and some of those guys stand a lot taller than I do, and yet they're standing up here saying such nice things. I'm blessed with a wonderful family, a wife that endures more than she ought to. It kind of reminds me, I was reading the other day the letters between John Adams and Abigail, who spent most of their married life apart, yet never retreated from their devotion and loved each other, and talked about their separation was not in vain. It was about the legacy of their children, their grandchildren, and this nation. Willing to make that sacrifice, most of their married life apart. It was very touching. It reminded me of the sacrifices that have been made for us to live in this wonderful country. You know, I love our veterans, and I'm very grateful for them. And Al Melvin and his service, and all those who have served with honor. I have a nephew who returned from Iraq missing both legs and the use of most of one arm, yet grateful for his ability to serve. He's grateful for his ability to serve, and regrets he couldn't finish what he started. I'm blessed, and my grandchildren who I love and show that love in return. And what it reminds me of is our duty. And folks, I don't stand alone in this battle, and I'm thankful for that. You can't get things done without folks that are willing to stand by you. Sheriff Joe, the legislators, my good friend, Eddie Farnsworth, and that's him. And it'll get tough to start going through the list because I'll forget some of these folks. John Kavanaugh, Michelle Ugenti over there, Frank Antonori, a warrior, a true warrior, and another hero. Led one of the biggest assaults in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in the Iraq War. Has a book out. He's a warrior. And I'm grateful to have him down there in this war, because it is a war to battle. And the others that stood up here. And again, I'm trying to remember them all. It'll be difficult. I'll leave some out, but I just want them to know how much I love them and appreciate them. Some have been longtime friends. I look around this audience, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your devotion to your country, for your support. Some of you I see in every event. Your dedication overwhelms me. I want to thank Alra. I was on the radio program the other day at 9:60 a.m. I think 7 o'clock on Saturday night. Is that right?
Correct.
What a family night we had. What fun we had. What patriots. And like I told them, people so often try to turn this into a race issue. How demeaning it is to think for some reason those folks are less of a patriot than we are.
Yes.
And that's why I'm so grateful when they speak out and defend their love of country. And I'm grateful for them. Anyways, I stand here and I want to be brief. I understand whether I'm talking, whether you're sitting there at 10 o'clock, the lights go out. Randy was kind enough to warn me when I came up here. So if everything goes dark, I guess you will know I've exceeded my time limit. Be careful leaving, and I hope you brought no flashlights. But again, I want to tell you the love I have for this country, and I know it's sometimes not always fun, especially probably for my family who live under a microscope. We have to live and defend the medium. In fact, we have a fun time. By the way, I do get lots and lots of threats, And I've told Lan she needs to calm down. You know, most of them come from her. But I really do get a lot of unfriendly kinds of comments. But you know what makes it's okay. I know where America stands. I know where they're at. We are a model. We are an envy of the country here in Arizona. Just talked to the governor returned from a trip in a couple of states, and she had the kindness to call me, and she said, "Russell, you can't believe it. Everywhere I go, standing ovations. They're so proud of Arizona. They want to follow Arizona's lead. They want to adopt Sheriff Jones." And yet, you listen to our own media, and you think that our image is injured, that the bills that we passed are divisive, standing up for the rule of law somehow is not right, defending the constitutional duties of the responsibilities and the rights of our citizens somehow is not appropriate. And my good friend Tom Tancredo, and thank you for Tom, and especially Steve, who came from Utah, Tom, who flew in from Colorado. Well, special thanks to them. But Tom mentioned the Krentz family. During the debate of SB 1070, Rob Krentz, a friend of mine, I know Rob, I know Sue, I know those ranchers, and he was murdered on that border. I have a video from Rob, 5 years before that he made begging for help, as he talked about things are getting more violent on that border. And what is the response of your Homeland Security Director? To put signs up 30 miles from Phoenix, Americans stay out, too dangerous. It's embarrassing. And I, for one, am not going to stand by and apologize for demanding our laws be enforced. I'm not going to apologize for the love of our patriots and our founding principles given to us by our founding fathers. And again, I mentioned, I love to read about our founders. I really do. I love to read about our founders. The real George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, the real Benjamin Franklin, Patrick Henry, the firebrand that he was, Thomas Paine, who wrote Common Sense. I love these men. I love their devotion to freedom above all else when they signed that Declaration of Independence, committed their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. And they meant it. It wasn't just words. And I think about our soldiers in harm's way today, defending our freedom. And yet, I don't think most of us stop to really think about it on a daily basis. We still go to our movies, we go to our dinners, we're still doing the things we want to do. And yet, they're over there defending these liberties. And I just wish we'd take time out to think. And then I think about our hometown heroes. Love I have for our first responders here locally, our law enforcement, firefighters. And as you know, I have a son, and I don't mean to embarrass him, who, I have two boys in law enforcement, have a wonderful family. And some of them are here tonight. See them over there with their friends, and of course they give me a hard time by pointing them out. But I can tell you, I have a family that has great love for this country. And my one son also shot in the line of duty, and I like to tease him about it as we share stories of survivors. You can do that. But you know, I tell the story for a couple of reasons sometimes. Everybody wants to make you out as if for some reason you have an evil motive for doing these kinds of things. You know, I was debating the very issue that we talk about here tonight, that's been talked about a lot, the illegal immigration problem, the national crisis that it is, the impact it has on Americans, jobs taken, the social costs, the crime, the impacts to America that you can't ignore. The Rob Prince of the world, Sue Prince will never be the same. Lost her soulmate. Terry Bryan left his family in defense of this country. Goes on and on. Anyway, while I was debating this very issue back at the Brookings Institute in 2004, I had a note from my wife. I was literally standing at the podium as I am now. It said, call home, emergency, critical. Well, my first thought was a grandchild, swimming, car, some kind of an accident. So I stepped from the podium and found a phone, a call, and she said, Sean's been shot. Critically wounded, being airback to a hospital. That's all she had at that time. So as I rearranged my flight to get home, I checked with her. It was a layover in Chicago. For an update, she told me that, she said, this is going to make you mad. Sean was shot by an illegal alien in a gun battle while serving homicide warrant. Already wanted for homicide. Said, you know, man, it does make me mad. But not the young man. He's a bad guy. One is in prison. He's lucky to survive. He was wounded also in that gun battle. Who I'm really upset with is my government, though. That should not have happened. That's what I tell Sue Prince when I visit with her. And she still struggles. Some of the 12 Phoenix police officers have been killed and maimed by illegal aliens. Folks, it's not just collateral damage. I know we raise our own bad guys, but we ought not to be importing them. I don't know if many of you, I love to tell about some of the miracles that happened in the founding of this great nation. I believe, from the bottom of my heart, that God had his hand in the making of America. I believe it's a country like none other, based on the principles of freedom, agency. And the national anthem, when they sing it, is very touching to me. There's a story that goes with that. Most of you may know it. For those that don't, let me tell you. And again, it's hard for me to get through some of these stories. I apologize if that becomes difficult. When Francis Scott Key went out to the ships that were getting ready to fire on Fort McHenry, he went out to negotiate with them because most of that fort was women and children. It was full of women and children. And he was explaining this to them as he took his boat right out there. They don't fire on the fort. And they said, we've given them a way out. All they have to do is lower that flag and we'll stop firing. He says, let me go tell them. It's too late. The firing has begun. And that's how he wrote that song, watching from that ship through the night, the bombardment that took place. And the flag wasn't coming down, so they turned their guns on the flag to bring it down, directed it on the flag. And it still wasn't coming down. Then as that daybreak broke, and as the song goes, but the story that they don't tell, and you don't often hear, used to be taught in our classrooms, up until about 1934, when they've taken these wonderful stories of the uniqueness of our founding fathers away from us. What they don't tell you, though, is what was happening is as men were being bombarded and killed, holding that flag up, others would go remove them and take their place, knowing that they're probably going to be killed, to keep that flag in the air.